President Moon Jae-in has arrived in the Russian city of Vladivostok this Wednesday afternoon. Our Moon Gan-young is traveling with the presidential press corps. She is live on the phone for us from Vladivostok. Gan-young, the South Korean leader, is there to attend a regional forum, but it looks like his sideline meetings are stealing the thunder.
Well, it sure looks like it, Don. South Korean President Moon Jae-in is here in Russia's Far East to attend the Eastern Economic Forum hosted by Russian President Vladimir Putin. But first on President Moon's itinerary here in Vladivostok was a one-on-one with his Russian counterpart. The bilateral summit between the two leaders is underway as we speak. In fact, the summit itself kicked off about half an hour behind schedule because Mr. Putin wasn't able to make it to the venue in time. Now, this face-to-face between the two leaders, the second of its kind after their encounter at the G20 summit in Hamburg in July, should be wrapping up very shortly as it was initially scheduled to last for about an hour. Now, that will be followed by a luncheon hosted by the Russian host and an extended summit with about a dozen top government officials from each side, with the entire event to last about 3 hours before a joint news conference by Presidents Moon and Putin later in the day. Tan?
Gan-young, do we know what's been discussed so far at the summit table? The talks come at a very critical time surrounding the Korean Peninsula.
You're absolutely right, Tan. The summit took off on a friendly note, however. The two heads of state exchanged warm greetings, but soon to take center stage was, of course, discussions over North Korea's latest provocation and how to best deal with that rogue state. Now, President Moon initiated the talks by raising the issue of North Korea and the grave threat its latest nuclear test poses to the rest of the world. The South Korean leader told his Russian counterpart that the situation in the Korean Peninsula was complicated because of provocations by North Korea, and that situation could become uncontrollable if the leadership in Pyongyang did not halt its provocative actions. Now, that's just about all we have for now, but the details haven't yet been made available to the media. And President Moon, however, was largely expected to seek President Putin's support for his pressure with dialogue approach towards North Korea. Now, more specifically, he's expected to focus on ways to bring about measures that fundamentally cut off North Korea's foreign currency income and crude oil supply. Now, Town, a key observation point from the Moon-Putin summit today, in fact, the South Korean president's visit to Russia altogether this time around will be how much of a support, endorsement, most of all cooperation from Russia, how big of a role Russia can and will play in reigning in North Korea. Town?
Our senior Blue House correspondent Moon Gan-young in Vladivostok for us. Thank you.